as we go through our agenda. We have a lot to cover. So let's get started with our invocation by Alderwoman Oliver and our Pledge of Allegiance by Alderman Watt.
Please rise, bow your heads. Dear Lord, let us approach the throne of grace with confidence and humility, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us as we make tough decisions. Please be with our first responders and the people in the hurricane areas. Give us your guidance in tonight's session. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Everyone face the flag and pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If the clerk could call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Garrett.
Present.
Alderwoman Godfrey.
Present.
Alderman Martin. Here. Alderman Chapman.
Present.
Alderman Wilbanks. Here. Alderwoman Oliver.
Present.
Alderman Watt.
Present.
Attorney Will Purdy. Present. And Presiding Mayor Phil Fisher.
Okay, we're going to start with recognitions tonight. If we could get Ms. Donna Yoel to come up to the podium for us, please. We have her also listed as our department head report, so we'll just let her do the whole ball of wax.
Well, thank you, and it's good to see y'all again. It's been a while. I am here today to present several things to the city of Clinton, and I want to congratulate all of you on really caring about these kind of issues for your community. It's very important. But one is Scenic Community of Mississippi. We only give one city this award. And I think I've mentioned this to y'all before. So one city per year gets this, and y'all are it for 2024.
Let's go ahead and get a quick picture of that if we could. Go around with it. Y'all stand up right here in the middle, I think.
In the middle?
Yeah. She says just get her from the waist up so she can wear shorts.
I'll crop you. The magic of. There we go. Okay.
Great. Hey, this is a great award for the city. We thank you for this.
And it's very well deserved. I think Clinton's a beautiful town. The other three certificates that I would like to present are three of the very first arboretums that we have done in the state, and three locations here in Clinton. One is the Clinton Visitor Center. I showed y'all the maps last night, didn't I? Is
Ms. Marcia, come on up.
okay. Marsha. So to qualify for a certified arboretum, everybody goes, what's an arboretum? Well, it's a park with trees. But to qualify as a certified arboretum, you need 30 native tree species, plus you have to do an educational component so that people can learn about native trees and why they're important and that sort of thing. And we are working with this young lady to do the educational piece. It'll probably be online, you think?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot of information. So we did an entire inventory of these trees. Okay, do we want to do one at a time?
Yes.
Okay, we go, Marcia.
Now come on back around here. You weren't in the meeting if you're not in the picture.
Somebody hold the iPad. Just kidding. Oops. 1, 2, 3.
Kind of stay here a while. Make this as short as possible.
Okay, the second one is Quisenberry. Oh, did I say that right? Quisenberry Library.
Is Mr.
It's Mr. Quisenberry here.
Okay, Marcia, would you accept the certificate? Well, she goes back, the Quisenberry Library was a donation of land made by the Quisenberry family a long time, family in the city of Clinton to build a library on. And it's been good that Bill had wanted it to stay wooded, and it has. And so I think now we'll be able to go to the next level with this.
One of the things I'm not sure that I have told all of y'all is I am with the Mississippi Urban Forest Council. And we do the certification programs for the entire state. So this is our first neighborhood to do as a certified arboretum. One of the reasons that's important, think about property value. It escalates property values. It improves quality of life. It takes care of stormwater, air pollution, all of those things. So let's do Druidsburg.
And may I
Beverly,
say,
would you go around?
Yeah. that Steve Dickey, is he here?
He is not.
He is an expert on helping us identify. And Paige, if y'all would come up here, and Tom, they helped. We were 2.5 hours in the heat. Thank goodness Paige got a golf cart to drive all over the neighborhood. And these trees we did not get on any lot that may be cleared and removed. We did the common space. So
It was fun. I
It
educated in
was.
trees.
Oh, good.
There's somebody else coming.
Good, thank you.
thank you.
We're gonna have
Hey, we have another recognition tonight. This would be with Miss Oliver with the swim team. You can bring them up. Let's bring the swim team up and all the people involved with the YMCA and the swim team. Y'all come on up.
Yes, I would like to recognize the swim team and YMCA Faith Martin that worked with Coach Russian. I got wind of this by Ted Gilbert. He sent me a message talking about how great they worked together to make this event happen. And this is the first swim meet that we have as a city of Clinton. And so I would like Coach Russian to explain the process and how they went about it.
Coming over here on the side.
You got the YMCA up here?
Yes, right
There
here.
she is, okay.
I'm right here.
Martin.
I'm trying to get in.
Hey, Superintendent, come on.
Hey, Marcy, you want to talk? Podium, yeah, so they can.
We're about to make a.
Trying to get it out of here.
Okay, thank you for this recognition. On September 14th, the Clinton High School swim team hosted our first meet ever at the Clinton YMCA. The St. Andrews High School swim team, the Ridgeland High School swim team, and Madison Central High School were in attendance. Our team worked very hard with the Clinton YMCA to host our first meet. And I would like to thank Dr. Andy Scoggin and the Clinton School Board for purchasing starting blocks to make this event possible. Also to the Clinton YMCA for allowing us to use their facilities and their swim pool. The Clinton area swim team will head to Tupelo Thursday to compete in the MHSAA state championships.
Guys, we're really proud of y'all and having this meet. I know you're gonna tear them up in Tupelo. Tupelo might as well just stay at the house, don't you think?
Yeah. All right, let's get a picture, but to do that, we're gonna squeeze in just a little more, so we can make 3 lines.
Okay, the little ones.
If that's possible.
Ashley said they don't want to tell you.
Yeah. What if?
You were like,
I should, if I should this way.
Okay, wait, hold on.
I'm standing back.
You wanna stand by Faith and you?
I'll get it back.
That's all.
I'm sorry. Yeah, just like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent Stein, while you're up and near the mic, if you got anything you'd like to share with us? Not putting you on the spot.
No, I just think when you have somebody like Coach Rushing, who is such an advocate for our team and just trying to find opportunities for kids and they'll say a lot, the interdependence of the city and the school system, this is just an example of that. So thank you guys for that opportunity. Absolutely.
All right, okay, we have item 6A now, which is the approval of the consent agenda items. This would be 6A through R. We have a question, a comment, or a motion.
Mayor, I need to recuse myself from 6B, but I move to approve 6A, C through R.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item B, do we have a motion on it?
Move to approve.
We have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Okay, we got two no's, or, I'm sorry, Ms. Garrett, I'm forgetting your,
Wait, what are y'all voting on to?
this is item B only. Ms. Garrett, I missed you. Are you voting yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You're voting no. Okay, Jim, I've got to slow down. She's on time delay. I'm sorry. Okay, we've had our department head report, so we'll go with the mayor's discussion and reports. Item 9A. Discussion action, accept resignation of Cadence Bank as trustee for the Certificates of Participation Series 2017 Lease Purchase Project and appoint the Bank of OZK to act as successor trustee for the certificates effective November 1st, 2024. Our city clerk, Mr. Baltry, will take us through this one.
Yes, Mayor. This has come up, if you remember a few years ago, when we were building Station 4, we financed that through a certificate of participation finance agreement. It was originally through Bancorp South, which was then bought out by Cadence Bank. Cadence Bank has now decided they're no longer going to service bonds, and so they're selling that portion of their business to Bank of Ozarks, which is what this name is. And so they're just simply taking over that portion of the business, and we'll be facilitating our payments as we process those.
Questions, comments, or a motion?
Move to approve.
A motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item B, discussion action, acceptance of a proposal and approval of right-of-way technologies, Inc. to provide property and easement acquisition services for the wastewater improvement project. Mr. Baltry?
Mayor, if I can, both of these next two items, this item and the next item are both in relation to the wastewater improvement project. The $20 million funds that we received from the state that we're using for the Big Black Water project. And these were two bids that we put out for professional services to facilitate that going forward. The first one, item B, is for the easements and the right-of-ways. We received one proposal from Right-of-Way Services Technology, which we recommend that we go ahead with them. They've worked for us in the past, and everything's been really good. So,
Okay, we have questions, comments, or a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Just get one to one and one to the other. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Item C, discussion action, acceptance of qualifications and approval of WGK Inc. to provide professional engineering services for the wastewater improvements program. Mr. Baltry?
like I was saying, this is just the engineering services portion of the project. We did receive two proposals on this. It was Pickering firm and WGK, but due to WGK's familiarity with the project already, I would move that we proceed with them as we can.
Okay. Questions, comments, or a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item D, discussion action, approval and acceptance of summary change order, pay request number 3 in the amount of $13,395 to Hempville Construction, final pay request number 4, releasing retainage to Hempville Construction Company, and closeout documents for the Pebble Beach and Trailwood Drive storm drain replacement project. Our consulting engineer, Mr. Owens, will take us through this one.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Yes, sir. This would close out that project. As you can see, there was a savings of around $24,000 by the time everything was said and done on that project. So we had asked for the approval and to close that out. I would like to take just a second to thank Hemphill Construction. That was not one of the easier projects getting in people's backyards, but they went above and beyond in terms of communicating with the city, with the residents and everything else. So for what it's worth, they really did a bang up job. So, but again, we'd ask for approval to close this project out with those items as the mayor mentioned.
Okay, we have questions, comments, or a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Thank you, Mayor.
Before you leave, let me just ask you a quick question. The city has X number of bridges in town.
Yes, sir.
At this point, we have repaired or we are repairing what number of that?
Well, we're repairing. I think if I'm not mistaken, and you kind of got me off guard as far as number.
I know I did that on purpose.
I know you did. That's quite common. But nonetheless, I think we've, of all the ones that are quote unquote bridges, which a bridge is determined to be a structure that's 31 foot wide or 31 foot long. I think there are only 2, possibly 3 that have not shown inspection difficulties, if you will. That one being on Vernon Road, one being on the western end of, I believe, Williamson. And then there's actually one, I found out the other day, or riding through there's actually one in Bruinsburg that goes across, I think, in the Rock Bridge crossing subdivision there. So I'm not sure that's, quite honestly, I'm not sure that one has ever been put on the list to be inspected. The county is responsible through the state aid system to provide inspections for bridges, not the city. Unfortunately, the city is made to, more times than not, repair those when they are replace them when they have to be replaced. But I believe, to answer your question, there's either 2 or 3 that would still need to be replaced or repaired at some point in time.
But not in the immediate future that you're aware of.
Not that I'm aware of, not based on the latest reports. Now, I will say that I'll be bringing to the board, possibly the next board meeting, a request to advertise the Pine Haven Road Bridge, which I have scheduled right now to take bids on January the 7th. So that project is right at a $5 million project that we're doing using the ERVR monies.
So with the Pine Haven Bridge and the North Side Bridge completion, the city's bridges should all be
Pretty good shape.
in
yes.
really good shape
Yes.
for the next 50 years or so.
Well, it depends on what those inspections term on Vernon and Williamson and the other. But as I said, the latest inspection reports, as I recall, on Vernon and the one on Williamson did not show any signs of stress immediate. But as we all know, that can change. The good thing about Vernon, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually on concrete piles. So there again.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Item E, discussion action, approve the lowest and best quote from Trumac in the amount of $73,760 for egress and ingress repairs to the Quisenberry Library.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Liddy, our Director of Public Works, is going to take us through this, what has been a real headache.
Thank you, sir. Yes, as you all know, we've been dealing with the doors at the library, north, south, and east door. After careful deliberating with various contractors, we found a solution. That is to tear out each of the front walkways that is on a traditional slab laid on top of the ground. Come in on the front side, put a drop drain, well, lower it first, put a drop drain to prevent any water from coming into the door, and to connect that drainage system into the drainage pipe that's out in the front, on the front. The other two similar solutions. At this point, we're just trying to get one more thing etched off our list. So with your approval, we'll get that knocked out and have the public easy access in and out of the library.
Okay, comments, questions, or a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The issue with that has been that the slab, the sidewalk was built on the ground and the building was built on pylons. So as the ground shifted, the sidewalk moved up and down, which was causing blockage in the doors and different problems. So we tried a number of different ways to get around it. And so I really want to thank Public Works for their patience with this. It's been going on a long time, trying
Very
to
long time.
get it going on. So thank you.
Sir.
Item F, discussion action, authorization to apply for an emergency efficiency and conservation block grant, an EECBG, for upgrades, repairs to the Quisenberry Library building. Mr. Lilly?
Same place, different issue. We've had issues with a control panel and some internal lighting. Some of the, we're chasing ballast throughout the entire library. Last year, we did retrofit a lot of lighting within the children's area to LEDs. But we're also having other ballast issues throughout the main area right there where the books are. On top of that, there's a panel, a commercial panel that is outdated. In talking with Pat, thank you to Courtney and the mayor for bringing them in. They had helped me find this grant and are going to help us to apply for it. We wanted to go ahead and get this before you guys because the deadline is October 31st. Pat will need to come in, do a whole study of the building, to figure out what we need, as well as inventory the whole building. So with your approval, we'll go ahead and get them started and get one more thing.
Okay. Questions, comment, or a motion?
How much of the massive headache of the outdated commercial box would be replaced with this?
What I'm hoping is that all of it will eventually. What in talking to the original electricians, A plus electricals, who's probably more familiar or had more of an intimate relationship with the repairs within the library. Two of the three, the lighting panel, the main breaker panel, and the AC breaker, all have tripped enough where it's probably time to do a complete overhaul. The issue is, one, it's a Leviton panel. This panel probably within itself could cost anywhere from, just the breakers rather, $10,000 to $15,000 a piece, to maybe $30,000 once you get deep down into it.
So we're killing two birds with one stone.
I hope we kill it too.
And so is the city charged to maintain it, or will Pat do maintenance on them?
At this point, we have not gotten to that part of the conversation. Right now, we're only focused on the materials and the installation. But the actual maintenance of it, we haven't touched that yet.
Okay.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item G, discussion action certificate of appropriateness, Andrew Creel, 312 Jefferson Street. This is in Ward 5. Mr. Edwards, our Director of Community Development, will take us through this. Is Mr. Creel here?
He's here.
Come on up if you'd like. You're about to be a real popular character.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Mr. Creel has, or is seeking the certificate of appropriateness to renovate the exterior of the structure at this location. And I'm at the wrong spot. So I'll say this is not you. I got the wrong.
312 Jefferson.
Yeah, 312 first. There we go. Mixed up there. He is seeking a certificate of appropriateness to renovate this structure here. This is the structure as it stands today. Plans are to add 6 windows and a door to the north side of the structure. There had been 6 windows along this wall in the past. You can see where those were located. Sections 2200 to 2206 require the issuance of certificate of appropriateness for certain actions to take place in Old Town Clinton. And 2207 gives us the purpose and criteria for granting those certificates. The Historic Preservation Committee, as well as the Planning Commission, have recommended approval as submitted.
Okay. Mr. Crew, would you like to tell us a little bit about what your project's gonna be and what's coming and when?
Well, so how far back you want me to start? You know, this is, I'll give you just a brief
So
overview.
before we get started,
Thank you.
just for our records, your name and your address, please.
Andrew Crew, and the address we're looking for here.
Just where you live, yeah.
Well, I actually reside in Kent.
Good.
So we started our restaurant 15 years ago in Byram. Basically a little mom and pop. We're still a little mom and pop, but we moved to Ridgeland 13 years ago, and the business has done well, and we've been in the metro area now 15 years. The opportunity, throughout the 15 years, I've always thought of Clinton as being a great place for us to put our restaurant. My parents were missionaries. I grew up in Greece. I went when I was 12. A matter of fact, just dropped my best friend off, side note. He came to visit. I grew up with him in Greece, and he came and visited, came in for a few days. It's been 36 years since I've seen him. So we got to reminisce a little bit. It was great to have him in town. But so through me living overseas, I ate enough Greek food over there, way too much. And so the love of the food and being in and out of the restaurant business throughout my life, the opportunity came in Byram. Then the city of Ridgeland showed up at my door when I was in Byram and said, hey, the mayor wants you to come to Ridgeland. And that's another story I won't get into on how that happened. But it was a couple of my customers, one from Ridgeland, one from the Byram area, and they used to fuss and fight in the restaurant. And the guy from Ridgeland said, I need Drew in Ridgeland. And the guy from Byram said, no, I need him in Byram. And anyway, but they were not fussing, the real fight. They were great people. But anyway, so one of them lived by the mayor, told the mayor in Ridgeland, hey, I want you to come to, go get Drew, get him up there to Ridgeland. And so, 13 years later, they got us there, and the Lord's blessed us. We get involved with the community. I spend very, very little money on advertising because we have a different model. We're kind of an old school model, I like to say. Service is number one. Food is number one. Cleanliness of the restaurant is number one. We have a lot of number ones that we do. And so we try to do them really well. And we've been successful in Ridgeland in doing that. And then so the opportunity, I actually rode through Clinton. We were thinking of expansion, and there was nothing at the time. This was earlier this year. And I happened to talk to Tim Parkman, who has helped us a lot with this. And I don't have anything, man. And then a few months later, out of the blue, he calls me and he says, hey, I got a spot coming open. He had to look for me. He had to call all the Greek restaurants around because he couldn't remember which one I had. He called me on a Friday, and I said, man, I'd be glad to come look at it. We had kind of given up, really, and just decided, hey, we're just going to stay with it. And so he calls me on a Friday. I said, I'll get out there next week and look at it. Well, by Monday, 1 o'clock, he's already been to my restaurant, eaten at my restaurant, and he calls me and he goes, when you coming? I said, I said sometime this week I'm gonna get out there, man. What's it? He said, man, your food's wonderful, everything's great. I just wish you'd come look. So now we put it into action, and it took several months. of figuring out how we were gonna do it. But we eventually came to an agreement. I came to meet with the mayor, and so kind, so nice. We just fell in love. And I'll tell you the deciding factor. So my wife Missy is here, and she had not been over here. I've been discussing this for a long time. She said, "When are you going to take me?" I said, "Okay, I'm going. We'll go." And so we come over. The mayor put us on the golf cart, drove us around, and when we leave, she says, "Well," she says, "there's good news and bad news, because you always want your wife's approval." And I said, "Well, she said, "Which you want first?" I said, I don't care. Well, anyway, she says, "I absolutely love it." She said, "That's the good news." She said, "I just love the community. I love, Jefferson Street." And she said, I just love it." And I said, "Well, what's the bad news?" She said, "Well, you're going to have to work your butt off," which I already knew. So, but we're excited. The word has trickled out over the last couple months, and we're in there now just doing a few things. And the response has been, in what I would feel, tremendous and very positive. So we're just excited. We're excited to come, and the Clarion Ledger called me and wanted to do a phone interview, and he asked me, and I said, "Look, we're not going into Clinton to suck every dollar out of Clinton. That's not what we do. That's not our model. Obviously, we have to make money to stay in business and pay our employees, but we want to plug into the community. We want to work with Mississippi College. We want to work with Clinton High School. We want to work with the Christian school. We're willing to work with the community and give back. That's why I don't advertise. Our advertising is plugging into the community, helping with whatever projects they have, however we can help." So we're bringing fresh food. Everything's cut fresh every morning. Delicious food. Just take your pick. That old saying, "Everything's good." No, it really is. And so we're going to try to bring the exact same service. I've already hired about 17 employees. They're training now at the original location, and they're coming along. We've probably about 12 to 14 are from Clinton High School, and then we have a few from Mississippi College. And so our target is somewhere the first week of December. It could be the second week of December, but we're on full go, and we're just excited and ready to get here. And it'll be our second location, and we're going to be proud to be here. I personally will not be opening more. 2 is enough, maybe 3 is the max. There's another possibility for another location down the road, but that would be my max. But we've had people reach out that want to invest in other places in Mississippi. So hopefully, that's our plan, is that we expand throughout the state of Mississippi. And that's my 401k.
Well, we look forward to it.
We're excited.
I'm so excited y'all are coming. We
Thank
love
you.
Greek
Thank
food.
Thank
I was reading a report that was sent in our package about the Mississippi Department of History and Archives regarding the windows and stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
They were original windows there.
Right.
It was just saying that they were like shoulder length and height, and if we could possibly return to the original width and height of it, and because it may possibly be one of the buildings we lose for the status of Old Town National Register. And I was just wondering, would you consider doing what was recommended by the?
Well, when we talked to the historic committee, and when we talked to them, so the reason that we want the windows, obviously, is not only for, really it is aesthetics, but when it comes from a restaurant perspective, and that's where I'm looking at it from, is if you have a hall and there's walls here and walls here, and the only way to see out is the front, it's not as pleasant of an environment to the customer, to the person who comes in. Nobody wants to sit in the very back because you're kind of way back there. And so our main goal was to get more light and just make it be more pleasant. Now, The trim on that is all black. It's not gonna be black trim. It's gonna be white. They're gonna match the front windows. We do have some wiggle room. We don't want to lose that status for you for what we're doing. The windows that are currently there, are kind of high. You would need to be very tall to be able to see anything in there. So it's going to serve a dual purpose by us being able to have windows there. They're not going to come way down because we are going to plan on having some outside tables there that will fit kind of like that. And you can't have them too low because then the table hits window and then we're replacing windows. So, you know, we're willing to work within whatever parameters y'all would allow us to do, but it doesn't have to be a gigantic window. You know, I was in there yesterday. You know, we're just talking about something a little wider than shoulder length, just to allow for a better experience for the customer. And I don't want to feel like we're trapped in there. There are people that have issues with claustrophobic. And then we can't, you know, our most popular seat in Ridgeland is the front row seat facing the street right by the window. Stays full all the time. People do go to the back, but we do have other windows at the back. There's not much to see, but we have windows out there and it just changes the whole aspect. So also for my crew, because our ordering section, all that's going to be in the back. The whole front is dining room. And so there's going to be a door that's already there that we're going to use. And so what we have plans for, since the window is there and the historic committee said, if they're already there and they've been bricked up, it's fine. You can use them. So we found when we took apart the inside of the wall, there's beautiful brick behind that. So we're going to leave that. I want the brick there. So the Leak Street wall will be a brick wall on the inside, which is going to look really good on the inside. And then a few windows. And then there's actually, I don't know if the pharmacy used it. Somebody told me maybe it used to be a pharmacy, but there's a little to-go window that's perfectly placed. Our counter will be here. The door to Leak Street will be here that we can use. And it'll allow us to close the dining room, say on a Friday night at 9 o'clock or whatever time. We have to figure out, we have to get here and understand when the traffic stops coming. On Jackson Street in Ridgeland, nothing happens after 8:30 unless you just pass it through there. So we close at 8:30. We'll see what our hours here, but typically we like to close the dining room 8:30, 9 o'clock. But for the college students, when they're here, to allow them to get something to eat late, we would leave that to-go window open, have a small menu, Euro fries and a drink or something. And then I can only employ 2 or 3 employees and I can send the other 8 or 9 home. And so that would just be on that side, easily accessible for somebody to come and pick up a to-go order, walk down the sidewalk and get it there and bypass a lot of the dining room traffic if they're picking up something to go. But back to the windows, they don't have to be huge. It's just for, you know, ambiance and sunlight, and we like to create a comfortable environment, just lay back, comfortable, where people can come relax, enjoy a good meal, and you know, it's just going to add a lot to it. But the existing windows are pretty high.
Other questions, comments, or motion?
Move to approve.
A motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion, a couple of seconds. All
Two of
those-
the offices across from here are the ones that second.
The to-go window is going to be about 10 steps from me. I'm just saying. I'm on the dot to tell you all.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Somebody may mean to turn it when they're sitting in there eating and they're going to be looking straight over there.
So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. You know, he was kind of giving me, I thought, a little bit of a hard time.
I did a little bit.
And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? I can get my golf cart, and I can get Missy in that golf cart, and I start taking her around to the train depot. I bet she'll like that Lions Club Park.
Yeah.
So we slowed down going by there, and all those guys were out there playing. When he got out, he came in, he said, well, I'm coming to Clinton.
That
That's
was
it.
it, man. That was it. She put the final stamp of approval on it, and I know my work schedule is gonna change drastically in December. You know, I've gotten comfortable over there in Richland. I got a great staff. They do a great job. We train them well, and if you've been in there, hopefully you have. If not, you can come check us out before we come over here. But I'm not opening until my staff is ready, until my kitchen staff is ready, and we can do the exact same thing in a timely manner. And
So by November 1st.
we didn't do a lot of work. And my Ty Garner Construction, he's actually in Africa. He comes back Thursday, so I got a lot to catch up on him on when he gets back. But listen, everything's going great. It's been good.
You belong here. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Thank
We're
you.
glad. We're happy. It fits perfect for what we want to do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your kindness.
Yes, sir. Item H, discussion action dimensional variance, 81 roof savers, 8071 North McRaven Road, Ward 2. Mr. Edwards will take us through this one. Is there anyone here for 81 roof savers? I heard a voice. There he is. Come on.
It's Ray and Charlene Milnick are seeking a dimensional variance to build a 1,600 square foot shed at this location. It'll be a standalone shed. This is the location on McRaven Road. Property is zone C2. It's in this location. This is the approximate location of the shed with the back that up just a little bit. Next to, that's on the property line. What they're looking for is a 7-foot variance from the 10-foot required setback on it. You can see it a little bit better here in just a moment. But this is the type shed. It will be a open shed with 6x6 wood posts supporting the trusses with a Gavaloon metal roof, which will match the building there on site as well as the neighbor's buildings. Here to give you an idea where it's going. You see the trailer there just at the end of the driveway. It's where they're looking to put it. The property to the right there is a different owner on that. Section 1004 gives you the requirements for granting a dimensional variance. Notice of public hearing was published and the property was posted as required by our statute or our ordinance. And the Planning Commission as well as the Architectural Review Committee have both recommended approval as submitted.
Okay. Mr. Miller, if you state your name and address for us.
Ray Milnick, 6011 on Pine Road, Grove Road, Utica.
Anything you'd like to tell us about this?
No, we're just trying to get, trying to clean it up and just get all of our equipment. Our equipment's out rusting, and we're just trying to get our crane trucks and everything up under a roof to, stop any more damage and
Okay.
clean the yard up.
Good. We have any questions or comments or a motion by the board?
Move to approve.
A motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item I, this is discussion action request to remove or reduce property cleaning fines at 121 Clinton Boulevard, Allen McDonald, Ward 4. Mr. Edwards will take us through this. Is Mr. McDonald here?
Mayor, if we could actually take that off the agenda for tonight. He won't be here tonight.
All right, so we're taking item H that's been removed.
Aye.
I. Item J. Discussion action, dimensional variance 1830 Clinton Raymond Road. This is David Ellis, Ward 1. Mr. Edwards will take us through this. David's here. There he is. Come on up, David. Go ahead, Roy.
Okay, Mr. Ellis is seeking a dimensional variance to build a greenhouse on his property at this location. It would be 648 square foot, 24 by 27 greenhouse. This property is zoned A1. This is the location off Clinton Raymond Road. Backs up to the trace. Better idea. That in the yellow is the approximate location of his house. You can see how close it is to the property line behind it. As you go out the rear, there's a 13-foot to a retaining wall back there. So there's not any area to the rear of his house to place a greenhouse on there. This parcel you also see is a long, narrow lot that just doesn't leave the required area to build behind the dwelling. Again, section 1004 gives you the requirements for granting a dimensional variance, and a notice of public hearing was published, and the property was posted as required by our state ordinance. And again, the planning commission has recommended approval as submitted. This is an idea of what he's building. And this is the location.
Hey, David, you can state your full name and your address for us, please.
David Ellis, 1830 Clinton Raymond Road.
Does it look much different on this side of the table than the other side?
It's a pleasure to be here.
So you got a greenhouse going.
It's a retirement present for my wife.
Any comments, questions, or motion for Mr. Ellis?
I know, David, your application you put in there, it's because of the configuration of the lot. That's the only place it can go, which is certainly a criteria where we can grant an exception in
That's
town.
correct.
So I know you did a well-prepared application for that too, and that's the requirements for us too. So with that, I would move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it a metal or is it a wood, like hardy board or things like that?
The structure is treated timbers, and the rear part of it facing the north, which does not have the greenhouse surface on it because you don't need that facing the north, that will be a cedar siding. That part is not got a greenhouse roof on it. And the facing part, facing the south, which is the effective sunlight gathering area, is a polycarbonate with a laying on top of a treated frame.
So it looks like wood or hardy board or?
No, it looks like treated big 6x6 timbers with polycarbonate panels on it. They're the greenhouse, letting the light in.
Any other questions? We have both a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item J, dimensional variance 1630 Clinton, Item K, discussion action certificate of appropriateness 305 East Street, Brian Hudson, Ward 4. Mr. Ellis, Mr. Edwards will take us through this one. Is Mr. Hudson here?
He is here.
Come on up.
Brian and Amy Hudson are seeking a
We'll do
certificate.
this just to embarrass you.
They are seeking a certificate of appropriateness to remove 4 trees from the property, 2 trees that are dead and 2 that are leaning towards the structure. This property is in the Old Town Clinton district, and so it does require a issuance of a certificate of appropriateness to remove these trees. This is the location. This is the front of the house. And this gives you an idea of the trees that he's wanting to move, the one in the front and one on the east side and 2 to the north there. This is the first tree, dead tree, and then the one to the rear there is another dead tree that he would like to remove. And then this is the third tree. You can see it's, I can get to the next one. Here we go. It's hollowed out there, leaning towards the house there. And then the 4th tree is the one to the front there that has been cut by the power lines and is leaning again towards the dwelling there. And he's just asking for those to be removed. The Historic Preservation Commission, as well as the Planning Commission, did recommend approval as submitted.
Move to approve.
The motion to approve, is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Brian, your shady house may be sunlit now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I are on the same page about the country, but we'll see if it comes down to that. We may be back here next year. I told the contractor to overprice it, so maybe the money will scare it away. Definitely cutting the other 3 down.
I think you're gonna lose.
This is item L, discussion action, site plan review, 652 Highway 80 East, Denise Ely, Ward 5. Mr. Edwards will take us through this. Denise here or a representative? Okay.
They are seeking construction, or they have submitted construction documents to build a covered deck, a 16.5 by 55 covered deck at this location to the rear of the structure. This is the location you'll remember from a few months ago where they came before you and wanted to paint and change the shutters, those colors. This is the location. You see the new color on it. Then under the awning, it was painted black. That was the original intent, though it was not shown in our previous, when we submitted it, presented it to you a few months ago, so they want to go ahead and get that covered now as well. And this is the location of the deck. We'll come out the back door there, and this is your rendering for it. The columns will not be white. They will all be black as well. And they'll have a ADA accessibility to the back there. That's the location for the participants to be able to come out and sit outside a little bit with a covered patio on that. The intention is to install a black metal roof on the top of it. And again, the Architectural Review Committee, as well as the Planning Commission, have recommended approval as submitted.
I think your building looks very nice. We
Yes, it
appreciate
does.
And move to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Too bad you didn't get a chance to say anything.
Jeff Pruitt, that's you.
Thank you, Jeff. Let's see, we are at M, discussion action, unkept property located at 1203 Rockingham Drive. There's the parcel number. This is in Ward 3. Is anyone here representing that property? Okay.
We are seeking a resolution declaring this property in its present condition to be a menace to the public health and safety of the community. This is the house. We had a tree fall in it back in April, and it is set there. You can see the holes at this location. And as we go further in, you can see the damage done to the end of the house. The walls, the bricks come down, the gable end is crushed, and they've had it tarped again since April on there, and not really making much of an attempt to take care of this. So we're just asking you to direct the Department of Community Development to take such actions as are appropriate under our state statute. The notice was posted on the property and at City Hall, and also mailed to the address shown on the Hinds County land rolls. And the property is not on the state Secretary of State's tax forfeiture list. This is properties owned by rental company.
Okay, questions, comments, or a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion. Second. We have a motion and a second. Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
What are the opposed? No. Thank you.
you gotta wonder what the plans are. Is it salvageable or it looks pretty bad from the picture?
It's bad. I've not been in the house yet, but from the end of it, it is, and the plan will be to demolish it. Even the owner has asked for time to demolish it. I thought someone would be here tonight to make that request, but they've not given us any timeline that they'll get to it. But they did say that they would like to do it prior to us. But they, again, not presented us any contracts showing that they're truly ready to demolish the house.
What's their timeline on that?
they've not given us a
Well, I'm
timeline.
talking about for the city, if they do not.
Yeah, we can start it, so early, go ahead and have someone, in the next couple of weeks. So we can do a hold up on it. Have
Would you like to
complaints
say 30 days,
on the
60
neighbors.
days?
Yes, give them 30 days to take care of it and.
30 days, something, okay, we can do that.
Okay, we've passed that one. We'll move down to item N, discussion action site plan, Cedar Hill Phase 2, Kirkland Development. This is on Pine Haven Road in Ward 3. We have the choir here with Kirkland Development. And so if one of y'all, whoever your spokesman was going to be, would step up. Roy's going to take us through all this one.
The Kirkland Properties have submitted a revised plat for the second phase of Cedar Hill. Proposed a plat would add 11 additional lots, bringing the total lots to 88. What had originally been approved was 77. They're also seeking to add an entrance off of Pine Haven Drive to the south of this one. That in the yellow shows what is under construction now that has houses being built. That in the red would be phases 2 and 3 that were submitted earlier and approved. This is the approved plat from several years ago that they had started. Again, they've only gone through the construction phase with phase 1 on here. So now Kirkland is looking to take phases 2 and 3 and complete them out, as well as have access to Pine Haven Road from phase 2 and 3. The site plan does meet our dimensional requirements for R1 zones, as well as our subdivision regulations. And the Planning Commission has met and approved, recommended approval of it. That area there's what has been added to the existing plan.
Okay. Yeah, David, you could give us your full name and address, please.
Absolutely. David Ash. I live on 1760 Seaton Road in Raymond.
You're the attorney?
I'm the attorney for Kirkland Development,
Okay.
yes. This is really just to grab the development as it was originally planned and to extend that a little bit further, adding 11 lots, adding a second entrance. We've had some preliminary conversations with the current owners, the current homeowners association. Those have been very productive and good conversations about continuing to work together to integrate and implement things together collectively. So it would very much be, phase 2 and 3 are already platted. Everything is already in place for those. The phase 4, which is that red section, is an extension of that, which would be the same lot sizes. Same spirit of the development would be in place for that phase as well, as is in place for phase 1, 2, and 3.
This is David, it's my understanding that Kirkland is willing, that one of the couple of the concerns were that the new entrance would mimic the current entrance, and that the new covenants for the additional phases would mimic the current covenants of that subdivision, and that's my understanding. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So the new entrance will be match and integrate in with the current entrance. The initial entrance up to the north is very elaborate. This may not be quite as elaborate, but it would match very much to where it would be all one implemented development. And yes, as to the covenants, the phase 2 and 3 covenants and 4 covenants have never been filed, but the intent is to take the phase 1 covenants and substantially mirror the same types of aspects for the development. Yes.
Any other questions, comments, or a motion? Move to approve. So a motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. While Ms. Godfrey comes back in, I'm gonna take a second. I made a mistake at the beginning of the meeting, negating to tell you that we have a item that will come up under other items tonight. So I just want to let everybody know that will be happening. So it's my bad for forgetting that. Item O, discussion action rezoning from R1 single family residential to MU mixed use Kirkland Development, Clinton Parkway, and those are the parcels. This is in Ward 5. Roy Evans is our Director of Community Development. If you have a spokesman to come forward, have them start coming forward now. There was a petition brought to the city by state statute. The petition itself must be validated, verified by the city clerk. None of the aldermen or myself have seen or touched it. So, city clerk, can you certify or not certify the petition?
At this time, Mayor, I cannot certify this petition. We received it late Thursday afternoon. We reviewed it, went through it, and tried to find some consensus from various sources throughout the state. And just the form of the petition itself, we find lacking. It does not have a header on the pages that contains the signatures that clearly states what the petition is that was signed. So in order to protect both the signers and the process itself, I have to say cannot certify this petition.
Thank you. Okay.
Can we see the petition?
And did it concur with our city attorney?
And I've got real concerns about that too. Last night at our work session, I raised the question. I understood there had been a petition filed or submitted, and I asked whether it had been certified, and was told that it had been certified, and that this requiring a supermajority vote on that too. And now tonight at the meeting, you're told that it had not been certified, and there were discrepancies or problems with it. If those had been brought up earlier, probably at the work session last night, they would have, might have been enough people there, and enough signers could have corrected any error, or today as well too. So I think, you know, they've, to surprise them when there would have been ample opportunity to correct any deficiency in there prior to tonight, and at the last minute telling us and telling them that their petition did not satisfy the requirements, I think is not fair and not proper at all. It clearly said we are property owners within the 300 feet, and we oppose it. And on there, you're saying it should have said that on the top of each page there too. But very clearly, we had enough people there that were signing and trying to do the best they could. Got no advance notice. It could have easily been cured if
I apologize for the late notice. I've been researching this since Thursday afternoon when I received it, and have called to AG's office, various officials with the Clerks Association, to whether I could certify this or not, given that I understand where this comes from and the nature of it. But from what I've received as late as this afternoon, I was told, no, it doesn't meet the standards. There are several court cases. One of them is actually a City of Clinton case that went to Supreme Court in 1986 that states that any petition for a referendum or that type of thing that comes before a public body has to have it clearly stated on each page, the object that they are attempting to have addressed on that sheet with the signatures. So again,
I agree with Mr. Martin, Alderman Martin, in that we were present last night for the work session. There was ample opportunity to say that this had not been certified. And I think that the residents who have signed this petition are certainly owed that respect. And so I honestly don't know how we can vote on something when there's still this issue up in the air.
I would certainly agree with that. And I plan, I guess it's appropriate time to go ahead and make a motion to table this and give them the opportunity to correct any technical deficiencies in their petition, and then bring it back at the next meeting.
Is there a possibility of voting and then looking at this further? Or does it have to be certified by the clerk? I'm looking at our attorney, I'm sorry. Does it have to be certified by the clerk before the vote?
Well, the clerk is a certifying official on the petition. I mean, certainly the board has fairly wide discretion as to what you can make a motion on and vote on. So if you guys want to make a motion to override and accept it, that would be within your purview. I'll tell you, he did accurately state the legal standard from the Supreme Court is that for a signature to be valid, it must appear on a page with a heading expressing a clear intent for a particular action. So if that is why he denied it, and then that is in fact what the petition represents or what the petition shows, and I think his analysis would be correct. I think that's what a court would ultimately determine where. So obviously that's open for challenge either way, either side has an interest in, what the vote requirement is. So I think it's open for challenge either way. I think the standard's the legal standard's pretty clear on it.
Basically, the standard says that the petition in front of us now is, according to state statute, is not certifiable.
Any
So
signature
whatever's
that appears.
behind, whatever is there now is not certifiable. So what we're voting on is what's in front of us at this time.
And with
If we
the,
were voting on it.
Well, I think the motion on the table, is the motion to table, but if Chip's gonna make an alternative motion, I mean, when you say what we're voting on, I just want to be clear that.
With the motion, as I understand it, with the petition not certified, then we would, unless the board tables it, we go back to what is the intent of item O is, which is to have a vote on either changing it to R1 to MU or not.
Yes, sir.
That's what it goes back to.
Yes. If it's not tabled, it would just go forward on a normal vote, a simple majority vote.
Correct.
And I think the problem would be it has not been certified prior to the vote. So again, the problem was, last night in a work session, which was a public hearing, it was clearly stated that petition had been certified, so there was no need for them to uproar it. I asked the question. And
Roy, did you say it had been certified? Because Roy had anything to do with it.
That goes to the city
I asked the
clerk.
question, is there a petition and had it been certified? And was there going to be a supermajority vote tonight? You answered yes to both of those questions.
There was a petition turned in, but as far as certified, I was not aware of whether it had been certified or not.
Roy is not the certifying authority in any way. The clerk is, and that's where the question should have been directed.
Yeah, the clerk was there and the clerk heard the question.
I did not hear that question.
I didn't hear it.
I've not been asked until this afternoon when Ms. Oliver contacted me, asking if it had been certified or not.
and with all due respect, if there was problems with the petition, I think the city should have contacted the person who led the petition, or at least the homeowners, and been a lot more transparent. There was a talk last night about the petition, and there was nothing mentioned until I talked to you late this afternoon and realized that. And I asked, well, if we had had time, we could have contacted and let them learn what they should have done. And I think with transparency and giving our citizens the right to petition, and it changes this board's vote if it is correctly done, I would second Alderman Martin's motion to table until the next city meeting. which
We have a
is
motion and a
November
second to
something.
table. We have any comments or questions?
I guess my comment is, and I tell you, I lean toward voting in favor of the change of zoning. I've had many conversations with many of you out there, and but I do have concerns about this petition. I think we should have known about this last night. It was mentioned last night. If there were issues with it that should have been discussed, I think that to put this on us at this moment seems unfortunate.
Well,
And so I would vote in favor of the motion to table.
The situation is that he didn't know for sure until late this afternoon, having exercised all his resources,
But we should have been aware
I'm
of
sorry,
it.
am I talking? Do I have to go through you with this every time I talk?
You don't?
The situation was he wasn't sure and couldn't give you an unclear answer. And frankly, he wasn't asked. And all of you were there. You could have asked. This is a,
Jim did it.
Jim didn't ask,
Yes.
Jim didn't
He
ask.
did.
Yes,
Jimmy.
he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
I actually,
He did. He asked last night.
He did not ask me directly.
Chip
I
caught it.
heard him in his statement say something about there was a petition, and then he went on to talk about the various things that he made in his comments. But there was no direct question to me that I remember that I understood as a direct question. I will always try to err on the side of caution with these things. I again apologize for it being last minute. When I spoke to you on the phone this afternoon, I was driving back from a doctor's appointment, and I was still reaching out to people trying to find sources as to how we could accept this or not, to clarify, to make sure, like I stated to you on the phone, wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing by the law and in accordance with the rules that are set.
Now, to be clear, any city petition that comes out, and I've been involved in a number of them, not as far back as '86, but into the '90s, it is a responsibility of the petitioner to have it right and to turn it into the city. And then the next step must be to turn it into the board. So, I mean, how many bites at the apple are you gonna give it before you finally decide to vote? Delaying a vote for having followed the procedures is absurd, in my opinion. And I think that this board needs to move forward. And one way or the other, do what they're gonna do. We have had 10 and a half hours of discussion on this between planning and zoning, a work session with the Board of Aldermen, meetings with the Kirkland bunch, another work session with the Board of Aldermen, and whatever else was done individually that I didn't add into this. The issue isn't going to change one way or the other. The issue is what is trying to happen, so people don't understand what's going on. If you have a 2/3 vote, it requires 5 people to pass it. Okay? And they don't have 5, Jim and his group, and the other group doesn't have 5. So the issue is that and it gets back down to the basic of what we've been talking about and what it affects. If you don't allow multi-use here, as Ms. Garrett has frequently told us, you set a precedent. That precedent applies to the multi-use plans at the Mississippi College project. Now, if it doesn't go multi-use, then it simply goes back to the plans that are already authorized to them via the city ordinance, which is in place, which is housing. It's one of the two. Hopefully, the scorched earth policy that I mentioned to y'all last night would not come into effect. But it's A or it's B. And, continuing to give until we finally get it right is the responsibility of the petitioner when they brought it to us to have it right. The instructions are clear cut. So I don't know what good waiting 2 more weeks is going to do. And I don't know what's going to clear up other than to have a new petition brought to us. And if you allow a new petition to be brought to us, you've negated this petition, which you say you want to clear up the issues with the petition, you throw out this petition. So, I'd like you to be a little more clear on what your thoughts are there.
Mayor, there's a motion on the table and I'll call for the question.
I wouldn't want a discussion either if I were you. Okay, we have a motion on the table. We have a motion to table. We'll do a roll call vote, Mr. Baldwin.
Alderman Garrett?
I'm in favor of the motion to table.
Aye. Alderman Godfrey?
No.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Chapman?
No.
Alderman Wilbanks,
Yes.
Alderman Oliver,
Yes.
Alderman Lott.
No.
We have a vote of 4-3. Motion tabled.
Okay, that will be brought up at our next board meeting.
May I say, Mayor?
No, this motion's over. We're moving on now.
No.
Employment items, item 10. These employment items that we have now are all positive. To hire somebody, contingent on MDA drugs, contingent on, well, to hire somebody right out and to hire another person right out. So we have 3 of them hired. By natural, by our past, we've always done it in one motion. So can I have one motion to hire all 3?
Motion approved.
Second. Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Motion carries. Okay, we're moving to other business. I've been told by Alderman Lott that he has a motion to make.
All right, after discussion, lengthy discussion, I'd like to make a motion to amend the budget, to move $150,000 from the pavement budget to firefighter salaries for this budget year.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion. Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second. We have discussion.
I'd like to have more conversation about this. I understand the attitude and the desire to move forward with this, which I have favorability towards, but there are residual outcomes that I think that we need to pay attention to first before we make such a large decision without the same amount of time. It's the same thing with the previous events that we've been dealing with. If it's too much too fast and we try to make a decision, I think that making that decision too fast could have other residual effects that could hurt us in the long run. And I'd like to have more conversation on it.
I agree. I kind of think that maybe tabling that and it's having a discussion, a work session. I'm not opposed to that. But I think a roundtable discussion about how best to do that. But I do think we need to address what we talked about last night. I really do. And I appreciate your motion, but I would urge a tabling of it and allowing us to have a work session discussion. That'd be my opinion.
I agree too. I'm very concerned about the salary issue. I think we should have more conversation about it. But I would be hesitant to vote on that tonight.
So I will, I'd be open to discussing it, and I will withdraw that motion.
Okay, well, we'll put this in on our next work session, which will be the first Monday in November. Okay, do we have any other business to come before the city?
Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and allow Kelly White, who spoke with us last night, to review the grants and give her permission to start working on the grants. And she said that her salary, like Donna Yowell, could come from the grants, but I think that would help supplement some of the equipment, training, that kind of stuff.
I don't think she needs our permission to do that. If she
Well-
has the ability to do that, and she said that she wanted to do that, I don't know that the city would oversee that or, have any control over that, her doing the grants, if she's writing herself into the grants.
What she needs though is some information and numbers and things from the fire department. And I'm not sure if we need to grant her that permission because of HIPAA or anything else. I just wanted us to be covered if we allow someone to do that without our approval.
Yeah, that's.
Do you think we need
HIPAA's medical stuff. This has
HIPAA
nothing
is
to do with.
anything that's
No, it's not.
personnel and that kind of stuff? So you don't think that she needs our approval to look at our numbers and computer and have access to things like that?
No, man, it's all
Those should be.
Okay, well, I'll withdraw my
Well, thank you.
motion.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. A motion and a